English now. First of all, hi guys. I feel so happy to get to lead or start this conversation with you. And I think my first question for you would be, how are you feeling right now?
Okay, I can start, don't worry. So it depends. Now is a really critical moment, you know, after the COVID-19. It is really bad for everyone, but we try to go ahead, you know. But the first, I want to just say thank you to Angela, Jane, and Gary to give me this opportunity to talk today about my experience in general in Estonia, because it made me change a lot. And now I feel good. I still have a lot of, sadness because I miss Estonia, and I wanted to come last year to come and visit you and meet you again. So yes, that's all. I hope that when the things will be better, yes, there will be the moment to meet and hug again all together. Yeah.
Okay. Tere kõik. I'm very well. I'm very good. A lot of work. We just came back from work after I went to an institution. We are working with a lot of children, and we are helping their education, digital education. So I might look very tired, but I always look tired. And I remember also how to say ma olen väsinud. That's I learned all the time, because the kids always ask me how am I, but this is the natural form. I'm also very happy to be here. It was a great idea to gather up all the old volunteers and everyone, the whole community. So I'm looking forward.
Great, guys. Ja, nii et mõlemad on õnnelikud, et nad on siin, ning Giada rääkis ka sellest, kuidas ta igatseb Eestit ja tahaks väga uuesti külastada, nii et ta ootab seda hetke, millal need keerulised ajad võib-olla on möödas, et see mõte teoks teha. Ning Kristóf juba ütles ka, mida eesti keeles, mida kokkuvõtlikult siin, et ta on natuke väsinud, et ta võib näha natuke väsinud välja, aga ta on ikkagi õnnelik, et siin olla. Okay, so we all know you from your time in Maidla Noortekeskus and in our municipality, but just for the backstory, what and who were you before you came to be a volunteer?
Before to go in Estonia, I was I was a student. I was finished my master's degree, and yes, I decided to have a new experience about education, and the project in Maidla was really, really good. So for this reason, I decided to apply.
I was a high school student. I didn't really do anything before that. I mean, I went to high school, played baseball. I wanted to change the world as a typical 18-year-old. And I went to Estonia. I don't even remember how I found Maidla. It was somehow it just appeared in front of me. We were looking for EVS. I was like, cool, it's in the forest. Cool. Let's go. And then after high school, I went there immediately. So haven't done a lot before that.
Nii et enne vabatahtlikku teenistust Maidlas Giada oli omandamas oma magistrikraadi ning otsustas, et see projekt siin Maidla Noortekeskusega oleks huvitav selleks, et näha natukene teistmoodi haridust. Ning Kristóf oli just keskkooli lõpetanud ja mõtles, et miks ka mitte siia tulla. Nii et jah, lühidalt nii. So you pretty much answered my next question about why Estonia and why Maidla. Seemed like it just happened. But before you came to Estonia and Maidla, did you have any like prejudices about it, any stereotypes that you knew that either were true or you just thought were true?
Honestly, no. I didn't know where I was going. I was just, I mean, my first choice was just for the project. I really like it. And I'm a person that for every experience, I'm always open. I mean, you know me. So I didn't have the stereotype. I mean, the idea of the stereotype of Estonian, I discovered when I came there. Yeah.
I didn't know a lot about Estonia. I knew it was there. I knew about the Baltic states, our common history with the Soviet eras. So I was expecting something quite similar. But my mother read a few Estonian books. Helesinine Vagun, I think, if I say it right. I don't remember the writer. What was the writer from that? If someone knows, please help me out. Never mind. It was translated to Hungarian and his other books also. So we were able to get some kind of an idea how it is there, but I didn't know anything also about Ida-Virumaa or how far is it from Tallinn or anything. I remember when I arrived, I was like, okay, let's see. I didn't see anything because it was dark. So everything was a surprise more or less, but I didn't have any special expectations or stereotypes or fears, no fears at all. I thought it will be lovely and kind, and it was, so it's cool.
Nii et kui välja tuleb, siis mõlemal tegelikult ei olnud erilisi eelarvamusi ega stereotüüpe Eesti osas. Ning Kristóf tõi välja, et ta juba luges paari Eesti raamatut, mis aitasid nagu mingisugust pilti luua, kuid ta ka ootas siit võib-olla sellist postkommunistlikku maad ning aga samuti ta arvas, et koht, kuhu ta tuleb, on väga armas ja vastuvõttev ja mõnus ning ta ütleb, et see ka nii oli. So when you got to Maidla Noortekeskus, do you remember like the very first thoughts that you had there?
Yes, I like the house. It was beautiful in wood, and you know, in Italy we don't used to walk with the socks in the house. I mean, only in your personal house, yes, but not when you go like in an open local like that in the youth center. So for me, was that the first impression? You know, it was so warm, so home. I don't know. I was so far from my home, from Italy, but when I went inside the youth center, I was feeling, yes, at home. And that was really a positive feeling, you know, because I needed to start a long time to be there, and it was very good, yes.
Is it the first impression of Maidla or Maidla Noortekeskus, or both in a way?
You can share both.
My first impression was, okay, I arrived at night, so I didn't see anything at all from Tallinn to Savala. I don't know if all the volunteers were in the same flat in Savala. It was Kaare 9, the street and the number. I woke up and there was a rainbow. It was green, it was sunny, it was so lovely and everything. So I immediately went to the nature. I went to the river. I love that river. And when I went to the youth center, it was like something new, because in Hungary, more or less in Eastern Europe, we do have similar youth centers, but nothing like that. So it was really filled with love, and it was just a great opportunity and chance for the kids to be there together. So full of positive vibes from the first minute, basically. And one thing was really weird. On my first morning, there was a Hungarian song in the radio, because Eurovision is a big thing in Estonia, and it was a Eurovision song. So almost one of the first moments I heard the Hungarian song in the radio. It was really weird.
Oh wow, these moments are actually so special. Ma nüüd proovin neid ka eesti keeles natukene võib-olla teieni tuua ja mis nagu mõlema vastustest välja kajas, oli see, et see maja oli nii nagu positiivne, see oli armastusega tehtud ning Giadale see väga meeldis, see oli nii soe ja hubane ning ta tundis ennast väga hästi selles suhtes, et ta pidi seal, et ta nagu arvestas sellega, et ta peab seal päris pikka aega töötama ja ta ei olnud üldse harjunud ka sellise töökeskkonnaga ning Kristóf rääkis seda, kuidas ta jõudis Eestisse täiesti pimedas, nii et ta Tallinnast Savalani ei näinud mitte midagi. Ja siis, kui hommikul oma uues korteris ärkas, oli uues vikerkaar ja ta läks jõe äärde ja Noortekas oli ta jaoks uus ja ka samuti tundus selline positiivne koht ning raadiost tuli seesama tema esimene päev Ungari Eurovisiooni lugu. Nii et see oli tema jaoks ka siuke eriline hetk. But now we talked about how you got, what were your first impressions of or first thoughts in the youth center and in Maidla. What were the regular usual days like in the youth center? What were the main things you did as a volunteer?
Was like in the morning was working in the kindergarten, and from 12 o'clock I was working in the youth center. And for the first, I was waiting for Gary to have a meeting together and decide how to plan the week, you know. Then the children were start coming, and yes, we decide. It depends which kind of activity we planned for that day, you know. So I started to prepare everything, the stuff that we needed for that activity. I don't know, lesson of arts or a game, you know. And then it's always something that was coming step by step, you know, with the time, starting to work with the children and decide what to do. And the time always flies. I think the end of the day was just for the movies, horror movie with the children. I cannot say the parents didn't want it. No, we were just joking, but yeah, it was a really nice time. So yeah, actually it depends on the day of the week, but most part of the time always try to have the activity for the children. Yes.
A normal day, it was different when it was winter and not winter, because when it was winter, the whole journey from Savala to Maidla, these 2 kilometers, was big adventure sometimes. I mean, I had real snow there, and I luckily got a bicycle. I always went with my bicycle, but sometimes this 10-minute road was 40 minutes, depends on the weather. Usually Gary just said tip, tip, top. Or it was a snowstorm.
Tip, tip, top.
I remember that. But yeah, most of the weeks I started at the kindergarten. I was with the smaller group from 1 till 4, 3 years old. I loved that because they used the same words as me. They were really happy when they saw a cat or a dog, and they were happy with that. So I was okay like that. I learned a lot from them. It was full of basically just playing around. And then also I went to the youth center at 12, and I had no plannings. It was more or less just improvisation, depend on the kids. If the smaller ones came, we just played around. If the bigger ones came, we also tried to come up with something. There was sometimes planning involved when we had a special day, the 4th of May, then we had some Star Wars things planned, or sometimes we made a lot of pearl animals. I believe some are still present in the office. I'm not sure, but we had a lot. And lot of just craft works basically. And after that it has changed because I really wanted to go somewhere else also. So I was in the Kivirli school also, helping in English and mathematics. Then I went to the Kivirli school also, into the Pikkapäeva rühma, something like that. Was helping there also. So sometimes the day ended at 4, sometimes the day ended at 6 or 8. It was really just full with kids. Sometimes I was one of the kids. So I mean, the age difference is not so big. So I enjoyed the same things. Yeah, it was just full of fun basically.
Nagu mõlema jutust välja tuleb, siis olid kõik päevad tegelikult suhteliselt erinevad või olenesid teistest faktoritest kui sellest, mis muidu võis plaanis olla. Ning nad mõlemad käisid hommikupoolikutel lasteaias lastega mängimas ja viisid erinevaid tegevusi seal läbi, siis olid Noortekeskuses ning Kristóf käis ka koolis matemaatikat ja inglise keelt aitamas õpetamas ning ka pikapäevarühmas Kiviõli esimeses keskkoolis. Ning Giada tõi välja, kuidas aeg alati lendas. Nii et võib-olla ei jõudnudki hoomata seda kõike, mis päeva jooksul oli toimunud. Ning Kristóf rääkis ka sellest, kuidas oli talv ja kõik ülejäänud aeg oli erinev, sest et talvel tihtipeale see tee, mis ta Savalast näiteks Noortekeskusesse tuli, võttis võib-olla kauem aega, kui ta oli planeerinud või oli natuke ettearvamatu näiteks oma lumetormidega või vahest ei saanudki rattaga käia, nagu ta kogu aeg käis. Aga mis siit tuli välja, oli see, et neil on päris palju nagu sarnasusi tegevustes, aga samas ka erinevust. Näiteks Giadale meeldis väga planeerida ette tegevusi lastega, kuid Kristóf rohkem improviseeris neid tegevusi Noortekeskuses. But I think enough about the work part or what you had to do. Did you have any fun hobbies in Estonia? Or did you continue some of your hobbies that you had before in Estonia?
Yes, like to paint. So in fact, I try to share my knowledge and my hobbies with the children too in the kindergarten and in the youth center too. So yes, and of course reading by myself when I was alone at home. But yeah, I think this is the most part of the things that I did when I was in Estonia. Yes, even because I didn't focalize just to try to follow the same hobbies, but try to create a new one, because I was anyway in a new place that I had different, kind of stimulation from, the local. So yeah, but most part, yes, the arts, sure. See.
As well, I was a really stubborn 18-year-old, so I was like, let's do everything. I was drawing a lot also at home and with the kids that stick together, so I'm still drawing a lot. I was writing poems all the time. Cycling, I cycled through almost whole Estonia. Snowboarding, when it was winter, every time after Noortekeskus, I tried to autostop to Kivirli, to the what's his name, the Tuhamägi, but the cool one. Vestlusõhtu, is it? Yeah, okay. So I was spending there all my weekends there all the time. That also stick with me. When I had time to snowboard or when I had to cycle, I did a lot. I think I started most of my hobbies in Estonia, and I found great community that does that even there and here. So for sure, it was really cool. I had used all my free time all the time.
nad mõlemad tegelesid hobidena ka palju kunstiga ning Giada tõi ka selle välja, et näiteks maalimine oli üks tema hobidest, millega ta tegeles ka lastega lasteaias ja noortekas, õpetades neile erinevaid tehnikaid ja näidates neile erinevaid viise kunsti luua. Ning Giadale meeldis ka lugeda ning ta proovis kogu aeg leida uusi hobisid, sest et ta juba mõtles, et kuna ta on uues kohas, et siis oleks ka hea leida või äge leida uusi hobisid. Ning Kristóf rääkis, et tema tahtis kõike teha, sest et ta oli 18-aastane ja tahtis kõike proovida ning samuti siis joonistamine näiteks, kirjutas luuletusi, sõitis rattaga palju ning oma nädalavahetused veetis Vestlusõhtuses lumelauaga sõites talviti siis ning rattasõiduga oli veel see huvitav, et ta on väga palju ka Eestis rattaga sõitnud, sõitnud nii, et ta on väga palju kohti Eestis näinud. So you talked about your hobbies and what you did, and I guess those gave you a lot of more experiences about the way of life in Estonia as well. Was there anything about Estonia that was like a little bit difficult, or it wasn't so nice about this place? And also, what was something like great? What do you miss about Estonia?
The car. To have a car, sure, 100%. Living Savala is really hard when you don't have a car. You are dependent of the bus, and it's really uncomfortable. Even because to go in Kivioli, the only way is or to walk for 1 hour or just to wait for the bus. So I think if I had a car, was more better, but yes, the car. What I really miss is my apartment. I still consider my apartment because I really feel like home. And the river. Yes, I like the river a lot. I don't know, it has something of magic, Savala, with the river. Yes. And just be by yourself when it's snowing, in the time maybe in June or July, when there is still light in the night and you're just looking the nature, how it's powerful. Yes, it's something that I really miss. And of course the children, but yes, I hope to see them again very soon.
Well, for me, for the hard part or something like that, it's really hard to think about this because, yeah, it was hard to use any type of transportations. When I checked the buses from Savala, there was one in the morning and that's all, 2 back. So either way you go out in the morning and then you come back sometimes. So I realized around October that I can use autostop. So even when I went to Kiviõli, I just went outside and I did this. People came, so it was really easy to go everywhere, anywhere. And people were amazingly friendly. Sometimes I had weird trips and everything like that, but it was really good, basically. Maybe sometimes it was too cold. I remember one time it was -26. I was in Tapa and I tried to get home also with autostop and it was -26. I was like, this is not real. This shouldn't be real. But luckily I had many friends with saunas and that's what I love. That's what I miss a lot. The whole community feeling of it, how a family is using it and how friends are using sauna all the time. And also from Estonia, I mean, the whole community-based social and youth system is something that I miss, which is basically working in a way of helping children. That is amazing and should be implemented in many places. Other things that I miss, I usually try to find in Hungary as well. I usually try to find in my own work. So because of I was working in the youth center, I started to work and make a foundation, and we are working with children at the same time. So I do a lot of things that I liked in Estonia, but it's still one of my favorite places. And Savala is also, and Pürtsejogi is the best river. It has a weird history. And people always looked at really weird at me when I said it's Südaviruma, not Ida-Viruma, because this is the best place. But people always thought about Kohtla-Järve and other not so nice places when they were thinking about Ida-Viruma. So I hope I was able to help them also to think about the nature and the places there. I love the nature. You can't find that type of nature elsewhere, basically. So it was lovely. Sometimes it was hard, but I think I have 99% of the positive things and 1% of the negative ones.
Ehk siis Giada arvates oli raske tegelikult elada Savalas ilma autota, sõltuda ainult ühistranspordist. Ning kuid see korter, mis tal Savalas oli, seda ta väga igatseb, sest see oli väga kodune ja hubane. Ja seda jõge, Purtsjõge siis igatseb ka ning ta ütles selle kohta, et see jõgi on Savalas maagiline. Ning loomulikult lapsi ning ta väga loodab neid uuesti näha varsti ning suve valgeid öid ja lund samuti. Ning Kristóf ka leidis alguses, et on päris raske kuskile väga minna, kui sõltuda ainult ühistranspordist, sest et buss läheb hommikul ja tuleb õhtul või seal vahepeal väga palju valikuid ei ole, nii et ta hakkas hääletama ning sai sealt enamuses nagu ägedaid kogemusi. Ta ütles, et kõik olid väga sõbralikud ning mis talle vahepeal ei meeldinud, oli see külm ning ta ütles, et -26 kraadi, kui oli ühel talvel, siis ta ütles, et seda ei tohiks üldse olla, et kuidas see võimalik on, aga sealt ka järgmine asi, mida ta igatseb, on saun ning selle sauna kookonna tunne, mis sellega kaasa tuleb. Ning Kristóf mainis väga huvitava asja selle kohta, et need asjad, mida ta igatseb, on ta üritanud nagu nüüd tagasi, olles tagasi Ungaris, kuidagi enda ellu interpreteerida ning ta nagu on ka seda teinud, nagu ma aru sain, siis ta on ühe algatuse või isegi sihtasutuse looja ning kokkuvõtteks ta ütles, et 99% sai ta neid häid kogemusi, mis Eestist on saada ning see 1% võis siis olla võib-olla midagi, mis ei olnud nii meeldiv. I think now is a good time for this next part that I asked you to prepare. We have talked about what you were before, how you came to Maidla, what you did there and what were your hobbies. But I asked you to prepare a few pictures to show to us and maybe elaborate a little on them about what they mean to you. So the floor is yours with the pictures.
Do I need to share my screen or how is it working?
Yes, okay. You have the freedom to just share your screen.
Just a second, I'm sorry. I can do it. Okay. Kristóf, if you already have something to share, you can start if you want.
I do have prepared. I was asked to get 5 pictures and I found 176. I put 5 pictures a whole year, but I won't show all of them, but I can start to just show if it
okay.
helps. Okay.
Done. I can do it.
Should I wait or you go? I go.
Yes, I can share.
Okay, you can go first as we started, and then I will.
If I will be able, just a second. No. I'm lost. Okay, you can start. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna share my whole screen. It's desktop 1. I need to allow Zoom. Okay, wait. I have to allow Zoom to share my screen. Just a second. Yes, please. I need to reopen Zoom, so I will be back in a minute.
I find it anyway. If you want, I can start now. Sorry. We are waiting for Kristóf, or I can show.
I think you can start, yes.
Okay. Okay. Can you see?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Sorry, I'm back.
I start, Kristóf. So, can you hear me well? Because I'm always scared that my microphone doesn't work good.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So here is just, I tried to choose few pictures. It was really complicated. Here is the work, the activity that we made in the youth center of Maidla. So the first one, for example, is when we were doing the arts lessons with the guys. And because of my, my graduation in arts, I just wanted, I saw that the children were really interesting, has interest for the arts. So with Gary, we decided to plan this activity. And was really nice because at the end of this course, of these lessons, there was a competition in Estonia where the children were able to present, to apply for the competition with a personal draw. And one of the girls in the youth center, Annette, she made the first place. So I was really, really, really proud of the job that we made. And she's here anyway, and I say hi. Tere, Annette. Then there is another picture, always about, this was for the, in Estonia there is the Teachers' Day. And I think it's a really nice event because we need to be grateful for the teacher and for the lot of patience that they have with the children. So we were just preparing the marmalade of apple, just made some decoration. This picture is when Annette won the first place for the best paint in Estonia and Ida-Virumaa. Here the activity of the Beyblade with all the children, because with Gary we talk about this, was a really interesting event for the children because they always were playing with this game. So I proposed Gary to create this event where children were able to have a competition, you know, and to play all together. Then the Italian event where we cooked a lot of food. Pizza, tiramisu, focaccia. We made, yes, a lot of things in that day. And yes, was anyway, cooking was most of part of the time, like an event in the youth center. During the week, we were just cooking all together with the children, making cake or just biscuits all together, and it was really fun moment. And yes, generally the game that we're doing together. And when finally the snow went away and we were able to play outside, we start to play in the garden and just try to find some way to talk and have a communication always with the children. That was really, really important because they need a lot to talk with us in every moment. So yeah. And this is, I have another one. I don't know, Jana, if I need to show right now or I need to wait for Kristóf. Can you tell me if I can go ahead?
Of course you can show. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I will try to do it again. Just a second. Okay, here is few pictures of the kindergarten when I worked. I had 2 classes in Maidla, so both of the classes in the kindergarten. And from January, I started to work in Giada kindergarten with Anne. That I want to say hi and say thank you for that opportunity. That was really amazing, that experience in that kindergarten too. And I want to say hi to Lale too. That is one of the teachers. And I think he's still a teacher in the kindergarten of Giada. Here is just, I don't know, really, it was really hard to choose the pictures. The 2 of them that you can see are the 2 classes in the kindergarten of Maidla. These are a lot of presents and draw that the children made for me. All my apartment was, the wall were just full of this draw because I was so happy that they were always give me a present every time. A lot of attention and love everywhere. And yes, the art activity in the kindergarten too. Here is in Christmas. I decided that was not my day of work, but I decided just to buy a lot of candy for them and just dress this mask. I don't know how to call it, but and go in the class to make them a surprise. And they were then in the top is like when we don't use in Italy to dress like this, the children, so it was really funny for me. But of course in Estonia, because there is not too much light in the most part of the time, you used to have this kind of jacket, yellow jacket. And I wanted to put this picture too, because it's really nice. And this picture with the snowmen where they are playing. And yes, few moments, that I share with them. And I was working most part of the time as a support with the teachers, because of course I was not able to speak and teach Estonian anywhere to the children. But for me, that experience was really nice because maybe I was able to have more communication sometimes with the children than with the adults that were able to speak English, because children has this particular characteristics that they can understand more from the expression of the face, the gesture, and was more simple, easy, the communication with them. And the love that they give me is more than what I give to them, I think. And this is something that made me feel full. So I was always never feeling alone, even when I was alone at home, because I had a long week with them in the youth center, in the kindergarten, that made me feel so happy and full. And I didn't know, I didn't need it to go outside so much, even because, Savala doesn't give a lot of time to spend outside or somewhere to spend the time. So yeah, I don't know. I really have a lot of things to say. I don't want to take a lot of time, but yes, for me Estonia was a really big experience. I am always very happy to talk about Estonia, and yeah, it's really nice to share with you today too. So yes, Kristóf, if you want, I can stop my. Okay, if you want, you can go ahead. Thank you all.
Yes, let's see if it works now. This is my first time using Zoom and sharing my desktop, so can you see it? Amazing. So I put it in some other type of sections. There is the before, and this is only important because my sending organization, Hangkép organization, is working with media a lot. So I was asked to make a whole brand new interview, and it was too professional. I mean, I just finished high school and they came with 3 cameras and everything. So I gave an interview. So immediately when I arrived, you can check the video on the Maidla Noortekeskus YouTube channel. I think it should be still there. I'm not sure. If not, I will somehow put it there. So it was really weird. I felt like I'm already famous and not even there. There was like 100 comments in 2015 in Facebook. That's impossible. And my everydays, on my first days, this is my first picture in Estonia. That's how I dressed. And this is where I lived, here in this one. I don't know how many volunteers lived here above this building. On the last one, I was sending it to all my friends and family like, hey, this is interesting, but it was really cool. I loved it a lot because really just Purtsajogi is 20 meters away. So my days were basically, I had this hammock there. I don't know who owns this hammock, but 99% I used it. So thank you, someone. And this is one of the first days. What I said that it was a double rainbow. I arrived to Estonia and I was like, wow, okay, this is gonna be amazing. And one of the days, that was the seal operation. I had no idea this is a thing. So 10 of my friends said that it's World War III already, because I only seen the tanks. So for a few hours, I was really worried. Then I checked online and okay, it's just an operation. I don't know if other volunteers also experienced it, because it was filled with American soldiers, tanks, and everything, Savala. I mean, they were everywhere. It was really, really weird. On the other days when the soldiers were not there, we used to fish a lot. I was fishing for 11 months and I got 7 fish. That's all. I ate one, it tasted awful. One of the kids, Endel Sar, his grandma taught me how to clean the fish and how to fry it in Russian. It was really interesting. On the other days, I was one of the kids basically in Savala. So every time they went outside, I went outside. And I was outside with them. The nature was amazing all the time. The basic menu, I think, and everyone can relate. Maidla school was one of the best in food, cheap and great food all the time. And sometimes I had leftovers as well when I was.
Even Kiviali, yes. The school has a good meal.
Sometimes they even gave me the leftovers, so they were really cool. On other days, as you can see, I have photos from the Vestlusõhtust. I didn't have a phone for half year back then. I had the old basic phone because I was really hippie. So I only have a few pictures from everything. And that was my setup. I got everything from other kids in Savala. So in the day I was working in the youth center, and at night I opened my own youth center. So they were able to come all the time if they bring some food or something. And we played PlayStation 2 together. So basically, I knew all Savala back then. Okay, it was easy to know all Savala because it's like 50 people. These are a few of my drawings I finally found. I was teaching the kids a lot how to draw. I don't know how to do this anymore. It's really cool. No idea how to do it. And in Noortekeskus, we made so many things. These were one of the best things to do. These pearl animals, I love to do them. One day, when I went to have lunch, it was really weird. As you can see, what I love the lunch ladies, loved everything there. We had really busy days when it was really like hundreds of kids came. So we had to have a lot of paper prepared for the names. It was a thing to do always, to write the names. I don't know if it's still a thing. This is Preet Parkman, the most famous guy from Maidla, I believe. Like this Estonian guy is known everywhere. More of the playing with the kids. I tried to make sometimes special days. So like this, when it was the 4th of May, or when it was the anniversary of Douglas Adams, just to teach them something. That was the last day, my last working day. That was amazing. We had a lot of fun. Basically, every day was like this. I don't have this coat anymore, but it was Orshi's mother's coat. So the previous volunteer's mother's coat, I found it in the flat. And this is me on the wall, and my name is still wrong, I believe. The apple jam, I think every volunteer had the apple jam weeks. I didn't want to eat apple for months after that. I even made my own. I don't know if you had special guests, but my favorite special guest was this good boy. I mean, I have a signature from him and from a famous singer. I have to think about the name. Marilyn knows the singer. Getteriani. I have a picture and the signature from Getteriani, but I think still the dog signature verse more. So much cooler. I was playing a lot with the double stick and flower stick, so we were learning a lot of how to do the juggling. That was quite special for sure. And I still have this. I got it from my birthday. I had Kati helping me. She was working for the youth center and helping Gary a lot. And they made it with the kids and everyone signed it, and I still have it here. And this is one of the best presents from Estonia. Let's see what I have here. I started a drama club and no one came. one guy came. That was really weird. Yeah, we just try to do everything all the time. And I want to make it short, but it's impossible. I had many trips. So because we didn't have transportation, I was always using autostop. And my friend from Moldova, he was working in Jihvi, in the Puetega Noortekeskus. And we were autostopping all the time everywhere in Estonia like this. So you don't need a car, you just need to be somehow, how to say, wild. And I had my bicycle as well. So with these two things, we went everywhere. This is Marco and this is Enda. We were in Aidu. If Aidu is freezing, you can just go there and do everything, you know, because you live there, most of you. We did these. This is Hiuma. It's so special places. Hiuma is the island of love. And I found this picture, and this is only fun because it's quarantine. I believe no one knows what is quarantine back then, basically. But we know what is a quarantine. One time the police caught us. You can see the police car. I had many weird stories back then. And when I got my bike, this is my second bike. I use this bike a lot, and this is one of my trips I wanted to show you. I kind of got lost on the way from Tapa to Savala, but many great memories basically. And I just want to say one more thing. After I finished my volunteer service, I didn't have money. I didn't have a place to sleep. So I was working in a sheep farm in southern Estonia next to the Peipsi Lake. So I was working with a lot of sheep and sleeping in the forest and working in the garden. And that was also really interesting and cool. And I was there at the opening of the prison in Tallinn. If you ever seen the prison in Tallinn, you must go. It's cruel. It's amazing to see. And this is my Tallinn sign showing for the last thing. I was holding this for hours, many hours, and going around in Estonia trying to find Tallinn. On the other side, it's Narva, but I don't have any pictures of that. So basically, these were my days, always trying to be on the road, always trying to be somewhere and waiting for the cars to arrive like this. Sadly, I really don't have many pictures because I didn't have a phone. But these were the days. It was really fun all the time. I think back then we had a really big, I'm stopping it. We had a really big volunteer community there. I think also you had a big community there, maybe. I mean, there was only one volunteer in Savala, and the next one is in Jõhvi, which is like 60 kilometers. So there was no one in the area. But when you go to Tartu, Tallinn, you go to Pärnu, everywhere, Hiiumaa, you have volunteers there all the time. So that was the best because I just write a message that, hey, mina olen vabatahtlik, and you can come, you can go. And that was the best thing. I tried to be short, sorry.
Thanks, guys. Well, you managed the task of not showing huge amounts of pictures quite well, actually. I can imagine how hard it is to find the pictures from your time here that just kind of give it all. So maybe the 5 pictures was just like a little precaution by us to not show all of your 179 ones. So good job. Aga tegelikult ma arvan, et väga palju mul nende piltide kohta öelda ei olegi, sest et mõlemate piltide kaudu ju oli näha nende aega siin tegelikult ja seda, kuidas nad neid asju siin kogesid, nagu Giadal oli väga palju pilte lasteaiast ja noortekast ja kunstitegevustest ja kokkamisest ning Kristófil juba Savalast ja kalapüügist kuni selleni, kuidas ta peale vabatahtlikku teenistust tegelikult ühes lambafarmis Peipsi lähedal töötas ning tegelikult Kristóf ütles seda ka, et tal on kahju, kuna tal ei olnud telefoni, millega saaks pildistada päris pikka aega, et siis tal ei olegi tegelikult nii palju pilte, aga ja mulle vähemalt tundub, et nende mõlema iseloomud on väga hästi kuidagi kajastunud nende piltidega, mis nad jagasid ja nad on väga ägedad. But now we reflected on your memories. Oh, that was the phone, yes?
And I only had 2 phone numbers, my mom and Gary. Because who uses a phone 10 years ago? So I had to call my mom maybe a month and Gary a lot. But usually she called me because I forgot. So that was it. Sorry.
Ja, nii et selles telefonis oli siis Kristófi ema ja Geri number. Rohkem tal telefoni vaja ei olnud. But okay, we reflected now on your memories here. So I think we're all curious to know what you do these days and where has life taken you after your voluntary service?
Okay. Now I'm living in Lisbon, in Portugal, for an airline company. I start just last year in the 2020, so last year in January. And I was lucky because for the COVID-19, I mean, I start to work from home, so I say I'm safe. But I don't think it's a work that I want to do for the rest of my life, of course. In fact, I already think to continue to work with the children when will be possible, when the situation will allow me to do it. In fact, last year, I would like to say these things because it's connect with Estonian. I take a specialization in special education needs and inclusive education. And I wrote a thesis about the Estonian education system. So, and I talked about my experience. See, so I wanted to share with you this thing. And I really did with a really big pleasure because yes, make me grow up a lot, that experience. And the person that I am is because of all my experience in my life. And one part of this is Estonia. Now, yes, I think that I will still continue to work from home until the situation will be better. But as I told you before, I'm still considered to anyway find something that will give me satisfaction 100% as when I was working with the children. So yes, that's all.
Okay, should I go? Well, when I was going back, I had a really hard decision if I want to stay or if I want to be a hippie and live on the road, or I want to go to college for computer science. So I wanted to go everything. So basically, I became a college student. I was studying computer science, so it's a big leap from volunteers to that. But I was always a fan of IT and mathematics. I also try to show the kids that they have a future in IT and they have a future if they know math. And luckily, some of them actually went to special school to Rakvere and then went to Tallinn and working at IT. So I'm really happy for that. Then I had a gap year, go to Portugal, try to find out what I want to do. In the end, now I'm working as an engineer at a big multinational company, IBM, as an engineer IT guy. And on the side, because I always love to do what I did in Estonia, it's like you are once a volunteer, you will always be a volunteer in a way. We started to work with kids and we started our own foundation. So I'm wearing always this t-shirt to show you. It's called Invisible School. I'm working with them a lot. I founded the whole thing. We started as a small initiative and we are studying with kids living in temporary family homes and children homes. And it's just trying to always smash the things together what I like. So I wanted to do something in social. I wanted to work with kids and I needed to find that if that's going to be my profession or my passion and hobby. So I choose to be that as a passion and always doing that on the side. And I even love my profession that I'm working in IT. So always trying to find the best way how to combine them. And basically what I do is I work 40 hours in IT and then I work 40 hours with the kids and always trying to do something with them. That stuck with me, that what I had in Estonia, what I had in the Noortekeskus, that type of social system, that type of youth system, how the EU funds are used to work with volunteers and basically be the children's in the center. We always do that also here. We are using a lot of methods that I learned in Estonia, that I learned from the schools. So that's who I am at the moment. Also, I was working a lot with EBS volunteers in my city to share the same things. But now it's IT and the foundation.
Giada elab praegu Lissabonis, Portugalis ning töötab ühes lennufirmas, kuid ta soovib uuesti lastega töötada ning loodab, et kojad natukene kergemaks lähevad selle maailma olukorraga arvestades, siis ta seda ka teeb ning tegelikult ka Giada tegi ühe oma lõputöö haridusvaldkonnas Eesti kohta ja Eesti on ta jaoks väga tähtis siiani ja kogu aeg. Ning ta mainis ka, et kõige nauditavam töö on tema arvates töö lastega ning Kristófil oli peale vabatahtlikku teenistust siis Maidlas niisugune dilemma, et kas elada hipielu edasi ja olla pidevalt kuskil liikumises või minna ülikooli ja õppida informaatikat ning ta õppis informaatikat, käis oma vaheaastal Portugalis, kuid see sotsiaaltöö ning noorsootöö on alati temaga jäänud. Nii et ta on nagu kombineerinud nii IT kui sotsiaaltöö ja noorsootöö valdkonna, et tal on algatus, mis eesti keelde tõlgituna on siis kuidagi nähtamatu kool ning seal siis ta aitab õppida asenduskodudes olevatel noortel. Ehk siis ta, nagu ta ütles, siis 40 tundi teeb nädalas ta oma IT-tööd ning 40 tundi siis noorsootööd või sotsiaaltööd. Nii et tal on nagu best of both worlds, parim mõlemast maailmast tundub. But it seems, just like Giada mentioned, that in the youth center, the time flies. The time has flown again, and we are getting near to the end of our meeting today. So if anyone would like to ask something or say their hellos, now is the time. Nii et jah, kahjuks hakkab meie aeg täna lõppema. Nii et kui kellelgi on küsimusi või öelda mõned head sõnad või tervitada Giadat ja Kristófi, siis nüüd on see aeg.
Ma näen, et meil on siin laaletelefoni kaamera taga näiteks paar elevil tervitajat, aga ma kasutan võimalust ja tervitan siinkohal kogu Kiveli lasteaia meeskonna poolt. Giada, these greetings are for you and from Anne and the team of Kiveli kindergarten. They're saying warm hellos and sending you big hugs. Anne is also here with us, so she heard your greetings as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I was so excited to see you all again. Thank you.
Kristóf, you raised a hand.
Yeah, I have a question. Maybe it's for the volunteers that are here. Did you like the black bread with the weird raw fish? Because in the kindergarten, all the kids loved it. But when I tried, I had to go outside to get some air.
I like it.
I have no idea how you can do that. And I don't know if Rafael and the others are still here.
Yeah, actually, I liked it.
Okay, then it's only me. Sorry. I mean, I loved many Estonian food and stuff. I found kohuke in Budapest and kahupur and many cool things. But that thing with the raw fish is... Okay, that was my question. I think all the Estonians love it. I mean, that's more or less your national food. Even, I mean, once I had it with honey. It was black bread, fat and honey together. Ugh.
Well, you're not alone. I have to admit, I don't like it either, even though I'm Estonian. So It's all cool.
Kas Kristóf räägib mustast leivast, meest ja soolapekist?
Ja Kerri, kas sina olid selle taga, et ta pidi seda proovima?
Hardi?
See on tal siiani eredalt meeles.
See on väga tore, et me jääme meelde.
I remember that night when I had to try. I thought it's a joke. but the black bread, the leib is good. That is good. But with these things, well, sorry. But I love potatoes. Potatoes is basically Estonian food. 99%.
Kui kellelgi on veel vahvaid seikasid jagada või meenub mõni hetk, mil nad on andnud meie vabatahtlikele Eesti maiuseid proovida, siis võite jagada.
Kas me kohtume see suvi Eesti jaanitulel?
Kerri has a question for you guys. Are you meeting everybody as Estonians during jaanipäev this summer?
Sorry again, I didn't understand. I'm sorry.
Kerri is waiting all of you for jaanipäev in June. So.
I would like.
If we can sleep at her place, I will go for sure.
In the kindergarten or in the youth center.
I was sleeping in the youth center a lot. And I was actually there, I think, for 3 jaanipäevs in Estonia. That's always a big pleasure to be part of something like that. And always, I think in Hiiumaa, once they told me that they always have a fight with Saaremaa, who can make the bigger fire. But I was cheering for the Hiiumaa people. They looked more cool.
So you're really an expert on jaanipäev?
Sometimes I know more of Estonia than from Hungary. It's weird. And also you have the other holiday, the Blackest Day or something like that, the Darkest Day. That is also fun. I don't know what is the name of that.
The Darkest Day as a pööripäev?
Yeah, something like that. In November or December, I believe.
It's a tough day also for Estonians, so it's great too.
I think he means hingeda. Candles and no.
I didn't hear, but I believe maybe.
Merilin, me vahepeal kaotasime su. Täna on üksjagu tehnilisi tõrkeid meil. Another question for Giada from Kivili Kindergarten. Do you remember the soup days and they remember your relationship with Estonian soups?
Yes. Who asked this question?
Anne, of course, Anne is asking it. But I remember also that I think you were surprised about the fact that Estonians eat soup as a dish on its own, kind of.
Yes. But with the time, I don't know, because of the cold, I start to like it a lot, you know? So yes, it's like to survive, learning how to survive in Estonia. Yes.
I think that's why we also eat it so much during cold times.
But in the Maidla school, the herne soup, that was amazing all the time. And also the borscht, but the herne soup was the best there. I didn't like it before. I started to like soup in Estonia because of that. It was always there.
So great. Our volunteers bringing soup back home with them. The liking soups. If you have another questions to each other or maybe even to Estonians here, feel also free to ask or to point out.
I have one. Do you have a shop now in Maidla? There was back then a little shop. It closed after I went away. Do you have a shop in Maidla now to buy food?
No.
No.
Unfortunately.
I was lucky. I was able to go there, always get pekoni munapirukas from the lady working there. And I thought she was one of the best teachers, because I told her in the beginning, I don't speak Estonian, she doesn't speak English, so we will be good friends. And she didn't let me to use Google Translate when I wanted to buy something from the shop. So that was an amazing experience. I was hoping that it will come back once. And you don't have to go to Kivirli to buy potatoes.
Yeah, I believe the locals wish the same to have the opportunity. But it's great to hear that the local community inspired you to learn the language in these kind of situations, you know, that you just had to do it.
I mean, you don't have a choice. But everyone was really friendly all the time. One of the first days I just went outside, I was like, tere, ma olen ungarlane, vabatahtlik, kuidas läheb? And I didn't know how to use like proper words for the elderly ladies also. So I was always really informal with them. Well, it was always really cool. I think the community back then there, it was really helpful, because if you work in the Noortekeskus, you basically work with everyone's kids. So all the parents know you, all the parents' friends know you. So you are somewhere in Kotlajärve and someone is just saying hi to you because they heard about you, and it's just weird. Like if you are a volunteer there for 1 year, you are the most famous person for sure.
That's true. You're definitely the stars of the
I agree.
community.
Yes. It was really nice because, you know, yes, the people for the street were just saying hi to you. They knew you, but you didn't know them. So it was really strange. And I don't know about you, but personally, I don't know, because of my hair, curly hair, dark hair, I was like an alien for them. Everywhere I was going, people were looking at me like this, and it was really strange. A big memory that I have is about the kindergarten. The first day that I went in the kindergarten, all the children were in silence, and they were so beautiful, you know, because for us in Italy, it's not normal to have these children with white hair, blonde hair, white skin, you know, they were all beautiful. And they were just look at me like this, surprised. And when they start to have confidence with me, coming to me, touching my hair, like, are you real? Are you real? That was really fun. I will always remember. Yes, that's true. But yeah, I miss all the people that were part of my day, my week. The driver man of the bus, he always gave me candy in the morning, 7:30 in the morning in the bus. Yes, it was so nice. And when I came back from Christmas, I gave him we have in Italy limoncello made home. It's like a liquor. I gave him from my grandma, and he was so happy. You know, you start to have this kind of relation because you're a new place, but you are able to create your family. Even if you are living alone, you know, you are doing just your experience. Anyway, around you, you never feel alone, you know. So yes, that was really nice. Compared with other volunteers that were working with in the same year, they were living in the big city like Tallinn, you know, so the experience was totally different. But for me, living there, just enjoy, you know, the nature, this close contact with the nature, And yes, as I told before, the always in contact with the community, the parents, the family, and the children. So yes, that was a really big emotional feeling. Yeah.
That's so great. Thank you for sharing, Giada.
Thank you all to be here today and give me the opportunity, yes, to share this memory. Because as I told you, I have a lot of things to talk, but I don't want to go too far.
I feel like we should do it like a every year event, you know, that you guys come together and share and tell the stories.
Yes, and it's even nice to see you all, you know, the children that are growing up anyway, and it's nice. I would like to do it every year just to see, oh, hi, how are you? I'm good. Okay, good.
Actually, I would have one question. Are you still in touch with one of the kids you had at that time, or?
Yes, because of the social media, yes, about me is possible. I'm still in contact with the parents, with the families, and in this case with the children too, you know. And now they are start to growing up, have a personal profile in Facebook, and they still remember about me. That's really nice because they contact me just to say tere tere, and then they are too shy to continue the conversation, you know, even if I try to use Google Translate, you know, but the gist, you know, just the way that you do, they try to talk with you, yes, to be still in contact. That's really nice. And for me, it's really important, you know.
Yeah, that's the same. I mean, many I still talk with almost every day. Like I mentioned, Preet is in many group chats with us. There was Reno Lip. He lived in Savala. I guess few of you know him. We talk a lot every day still, and still many guys that I remember back then, they had no idea how to speak English. They were so small. No, they can speak English, and sometimes they write to me on Facebook in English, and it's amazing. I mean, I had no idea how to communicate with them, and now they are 13, 15, and they know how to speak English, and we can talk. It's great to see everyone all the time, but luckily still have a few people to talk to almost every day. Somehow as we spent a year together also every day, then it got together like that.
And I think that it is even really important for them to still feel as close to them, you know, because is a topic that I already talked about that before with the guys in general. You know, anyway, they are living in a really small city like Maidla, Savala, you know, so the only contact that they have is the school and the youth center and the family. So when you start to understand the children and you start to have that kind of connection with them, they start to trust you, even to talk with you about general, even problems, small problem that for them are big problem, you know, because they are teenagers, children. And it's really important that when we leave, they continue to trust and to have this connection with the volunteers, with me, for example. And I really try to do my best always to feel present for them, you know, because they need friends. And most part of the time is complicated when you're teenagers, even in at least more like that, as Maidla is, or Savala, or Kivioli. Kivioli is a little bit bigger, but yes, the context is similar. So yes, I would like that, yes, as I told many times today, to go back and just make feel me in person. So yeah.
I've sent a link to the chat. If you don't know Preet, you can see his adventures. He's been everywhere. He's in Georgia, an EVS volunteer. Actually, it's really cool to see that he was a small guy, I don't know, 13-year-old back then, and now he is a volunteer in Georgia doing EVS, the same we did. And he has a Facebook page where you can see his adventures. Just a little advertisement, sorry, I had to do it.
Of course, sharing is caring. And he has been a big part of both of your roads as a youngster, so it's really great.
Yes, I remember about him, of course. He was still in the youth center. So he's going to travel for the world. I didn't know that. That's good to hear. Oh, really happy. Nice.
Nii, kas tahab keegi veel midagi küsida, jagada?
Ma tahan lihtsalt öelda, et aitäh, et hästi siukene mõnus õhtu oli täna, et väga-väga tore oli kuulata.
And to our volunteers, I'm going to translate. Carmen, or probably you understood as well. You have learned Estonian, so. But Carmen is saying a big thanks to you. It was very interesting to listen to you today and very great evening with you guys.
I also want to thank you guys. I feel really honored to be here right now anyways. And even though I didn't know you, Kristóf, during your time here, I've heard a lot about you. So that kind of shows the impact you made. And Giada, I miss you a lot. So I really hope Estonia will have you back soon. But what I was thinking, maybe we have this tradition that has, well, a tradition with 2 times with the previous talk shows that we do a group picture in the end. So maybe we could do this Zoom group picture this evening as well.
So whoever doesn't have their camera on yet, feel free to do it now for the beautiful photo. Kelle kaamera veel ei tööta, siis me kutsume teid üles, me teeksime ühe vahva grupi pildi ka, nagu meil siin paari nädalaga juba traditsiooniks saanud on. Ja riputame siis selle meie Facebooki ka hiljem üles, et seda vahvat hetke jagada. Hästi, Keit. Saame aru, et istud pimedas taas. Nii. Ja naeratagem. 1, 2, 3. Väga tore. Tuli väga kaunis pilt. So guys, big thanks to you for taking the time for us today and sharing your story and so big parts of you. And I am, and I know that all of our community is very happy to hear and know that Estonia has made a mark on you, and you definitely have made mark here. So you have had big impact to our community, to the youth center and youngsters for sure. You can see them doing their own voluntary services now. So thank you guys.
Aitäh, Giada, aitäh, Kristóf.
Thank you all.
Suur aitäh, suur aitäh.
Suur aitäh teile. And next week, whoever wants to join us, we are coming together once again with Rafael, and our volunteer Jana is telling her story, how she went to become and be a volunteer in Italy. Kes meiega järgmisel nädalal tahab ja saab liituda, siis me väga ootame teid. Oma loo räägib Rafael, miks tema tuli Maidlasse ja mida siin tegi. Ja ka meie vabatahtlik Jane, kes räägib, kuidas tema läks vabatahtlikuks Itaaliasse. Tšauka!
Tšau. Head
Ciao,
aega.
ciao, ciao.
Tööd. Tšau, tšau.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.